Despite Donald Trump's controversial remarks about Africa, there's an intriguing layer of support for him among some African communities. This phenomenon, though seemingly paradoxical given Trump's past rhetoric, invites a deeper exploration into the underlying reasons for this support. By examining social media insights and various research findings, we can begin to understand the complex dynamics at play. Many Africans perceive Trump's economic policies, such as the America First approach, as less intrusive in African domestic affairs. This perception is rooted in a historical context where foreign intervention has often been seen as undermining African autonomy. For some, Trump's policies signal a shift towards reduced American interference in African politics or elections. Social media discussions reflect this sentiment, with users expressing appreciation for what they interpret as a respect for sovereignty. A Ugandan commentator suggested that Trump's prioritization of American interests with minimal interference abroad aligns with the desire for self-determination in African nations. This perspective contrasts sharply with the interventionist policies of previous U.S. administrations, which were often perceived as paternalistic or neo-colonial. Trump's direct and often brash communication style resonates with political cultures in certain African countries, where leaders are known for their bold rhetoric. This cultural parallel draws attention to the shared attributes of wealth display, flamboyance, and a penchant for grandiose statements. In some political circles within Africa, Trump's persona may not seem as foreign or unacceptable, but rather familiar and even relatable. Social media users have noted these similarities, suggesting that Trump's style of leadership mirrors that of many African politicians who similarly thrive on populist appeal and directness. A significant factor in Trump's appeal is his alignment with conservative values, particularly on issues such as abortion and LGBTQ rights. Many African societies, which hold strong traditional and religious views, find a semblance of alignment with Trump's stance on these social issues. This alignment, however, is nuanced. While some Africans align with Trump's public declarations on family values, there is also recognition that his personal adherence to these principles may not be consistent. This complexity adds layers to the support, suggesting it is more about the symbolic representation of these values rather than a thorough endorsement of Trump himself. Despite Trump's derogatory remarks about Africa, some Africans maintain a belief that his administration might still bring benefits or at least avoid causing harm. This perception has been particularly notable in regions like South Africa, where Trump's previous administration was occasionally viewed through a lens of potential economic partnership. This illusion of benefits persists, suggesting a complex interplay of hope and pragmatism among his supporters. Discussions on social media highlight this, pointing to a belief in the possibility of advantageous relations despite the contentious rhetoric. Misinformation and disinformation play significant roles in shaping support for Trump. Repeated exposure to far-right talking points, often without a critical understanding of their implications, contributes to this dynamic. This trend has been observed by journalists and analysts, noting that some African social media users may adopt these narratives without fully grasping their context or consequences. This phenomenon underscores the importance of media literacy and the need for critical engagement with political discourse to avoid being swayed by incomplete or misleading information. It's crucial to acknowledge the diversity of opinions about Trump within Africa. His negative comments about African countries have sparked significant backlash from leaders, media, and citizens alike. The African Union's alarmed response to Trump's remarks exemplifies the strong opposition he faces. This divide highlights that while some may find reasons to support or excuse his policies, many others view his rhetoric as deeply offensive and detrimental to Africa's image and relations with the US. This diversity of views reflects the broad spectrum of perspectives that exist across the continent, resisting any simplistic categorization of African opinion on Trump. In conclusion, Trump's popularity among certain African demographics is a multifaceted issue, shaped by perceived economic benefits, cultural similarities, and conservative values. However, this support is not monolithic and is significantly influenced by misinformation. A substantial portion of Africans critically view Trump's remarks and policies. The landscape of African opinion on Trump is as diverse and complex as the continent itself, reflecting a wide range of perspectives that necessitate a nuanced understanding. Subscribe for more.